Hi there, I am Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. I'm a soul sculptor, I'm a healer, author, and I help you get over narcissistic abuse, past trauma, letting all of that go so that you can have the amazing life, relationships, and business of your dreams. Now, today I'm talking about double or triple D's, and I'm not talking about these. However, I am talking about despair, disgust, despondency, maybe discouragement, and why it's very important that we admit and look into whether we have any of these. Because here's what happens. I don't know if you know this or not, but I have some healer friends, and when we hold on to despair, it shows in our eyes. If you take a picture of yourself face on, not like this, like makes us look so much more attractive, but face on, looking at the camera like this and not smiling, and then take a look at that photograph. Notice what you notice. Look in your eyes. Do you see despair? Do you see shock? Do you see disgust, disillusionment, discouragement? So we're going to talk about how to overcome these emotions that most of us don't even admit. And may I share a little story? So my last marriage, if anyone knows about me, my last marriage, for the first time in my life, I was all in. I had healed a lot of the issues from my past. I'd overcome so much. I loved myself completely. So I thought. And then I met a man, and he was in an all-fired rush. I fell in love with him, absolutely in love. I was all in. And if you've ever been in a relationship where you've had one foot out and one foot in, you know you're not all in. You're not like totally smitten and engaged. I was all of those things. And then very shortly thereafter, after I married him, all in a rush, which I don't recommend, I found out that he was gay. And so that was something I couldn't change or fix. I couldn't heal that. He chose me. And so when our marriage was, dissolved, I was left with terrible grief. And society doesn't allow us to grieve very long. And so with grief, we go through anger, we go through denial, we may go through bargaining. There's a lot of stages that we go through when we lose someone. Now, someone doesn't have to die for us to have deep despair. Someone doesn't have to leave the planet, but we can have heartbreak that leads to tremendous despair when we're in love with someone and they don't love us back, or they can't love us in the way we want to be loved, or we recognize our mother never loved us the way we wanted to be loved. And so the big thing here is not to be in denial. And thank you for joining. It's such a pleasure to have you here. We have a tendency to stuff these deep emotions that we might have, whether it's disdain, disgust, despair. But despair is one of those that it gets hidden under loss and grief. And so I'm going to walk you through the gifts and how to process this deep emotion that most of us, and I was one of them, my healer friend Kareem pointed out to me that I was holding on to despair. And it showed up in my eyes, but it also showed up in my heart. And so until we let go of despair, we're not going to be able to have a real healthy relationship. We're going to attract people that take advantage of us because we're not 100% there. Part of our heart is broken and shattered, and so we have to bring the pieces all back together. So I want to talk to you about the gifts that come from grief, loss, despair, because there are always gifts. The first one is a profound letting go. And so we need to really dive in and feel it to be able to let it go. But what we have to do? Admit that we have the issue. And how do we do that? I'll walk you through the steps in just a moment. So we have to admit that it's really happening. We have to admit our powerlessness. We can't help what we feel. And we're powerless to change the way we feel. We have to move through it. We need to experience it. And society doesn't allow this. So like we're changing the world by being able to process emotions. This is huge. And we cannot step into our fullest joy, our greatest happiness, when we're dragging emotions that we're totally in denial over. And so this will help you increase the joy quotient. So then the next step is, and gift is to be in the full experience, the fullness of this emotion, to really feel it, and to experience despair. So I'm going to walk you through what to do. All right, the first thing is take a deep breath. Sit in a chair where you're comfortable, or lie down. Lying down is fine too. I prefer to sit when I'm doing meditation and any kind of processing, and I usually have a journal open on my lap, and then I can, sit, close my eyes, open my eyes, write a little bit. And so you want to sit, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. Tell your body, tell your high self, tell your angels and guides, I want to experience the despair that I'm holding in my body. I want to really feel it. And so you allow yourself to really experience the feeling of despair. Allow it to be full in you. You can touch your heart, you can put a hand on your solar plexus, and breathe into those spaces. See what you feel there. Closing your eyes. Oh, yes, I can feel sadness, grief, anger, yes, bargaining. I mean, we go through all these stages when we're grieving. Does it really have to happen? Do you really have to leave? Do you really have to be gay? We bargain. No, I knew I couldn't change that man. And I had to love him and let him go. So we are sitting in this chair. We are holding a journal on our lap. We are asking to experience the fullness of the emotion. Allow yourself to really feel it. There is a Kundalini move too, where you envision yourself sitting on a river, and that's the one hand on the heart, and the other hand is it's like you're sitting by a stream, and you do this, where you are picking up the despair and throwing it behind you, like you're by this stream or this river, and you're just letting this despair go and letting it go. But writing in your journal, what is it you're feeling when you feel despair? How does this despair feel? Where am I feeling it in my body? What is it doing to my face? Because when I had despair, I had a very different look on my face. And yes, I do, in private sessions, in group sessions, I clear these emotions. So you can contact me for a private session. I will be doing a group at the end of, the end of June. I'm doing a big group. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but you're sitting, you're in your chair, you have your journal, you're asking to feel the emotion strongly, you experience it, breathe it in, really feel it. You might cry, and that's okay, because you want to let it go, let it go, let it go. Let all the despair go, and you can you can do this. You can like pull it off of your auric field and say clear. You can put your arms up in the air and go clear, clear, clear. You can pray. That's another thing that you can do. Forgive yourself. And a great way to do that is, I love the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you. And we do that with repetition, thinking of ourselves first and then the other person. So grief and loss are things that we are going to experience. We are going to have loss. People are going to die. People are going to leave. They're going to leave our Facebook groups. They're going to leave our communities. They're going to move away. We lose friends. We, have distance between us and friends and neighbors and family. So there's a lot of different ways that we can experience loss. Here's the thing. You want to move through it, and there are stages to go through. Grief is one of those things that, taking a week off work isn't nearly enough. You cannot process the death of a loved one in a week. You cannot process a divorce in a week. It could take years to overcome. And so that's why I recommend energy clearings. It helps you to move along and move this energy out. And I do have free energy clearings on YouTube. You can Google Jennifer Elizabeth Masters free energy clearing. I have 2 on YouTube, and I have several out on a blog. Those will help you. You can also get a private session with me. My email is jenniferelizabethmasters@gmail.com. I am a healed healer. I have been doing this work now for 35 years. I've been coaching for 12. I've been a hypnotherapist since 98, longer than I care to admit. So thank you for being here. Remember, letting go of these deep emotions is imperative, and we were all going to experience loss and grief in some way in our lifetime. So being able to process these deep emotions is powerful. Otherwise, you won't be able to live in the fullness of the joy and happiness you so deserve. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah. Much love. And if you would like, share this with a friend, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.